Hello lovelies, hello again, welcome back, I'm back. How are you all? I really hope you are well. I hope you've been well for these last couple of weeks. I know that Grumpy Poo, you had your hip op. I hope the recovery is going well and soon you'll be doing hip hop again on the tables, yay. Yeah, I really hope you've all been well. I'm okay, I'm a little bit tired because I've been ridiculously busy. So, shall we rewind a couple of weeks? I know from comments, so obviously I put a little notice on Facebook, Insta and YouTube to say I'm having a week or so away from the socials. And a lot of people said, enjoy your rest, enjoy your holiday. I wasn't coming off the socials for a holiday or a rest. It was a bit of a combination of things, and I'm actually going to talk a little bit about helping your favourite YouTube channels later on in this video. But essentially, YouTube revenue, it always drops in January. It's always, you know, after Christmas is the best month, or December, and then it drops. But this year it dropped, it went through the floor for me. The worst it's been in, I think, it's either 5 or 6 years, which is incredibly frustrating and demoralising, I'm sure you can imagine, because you work hard to build your channel, to engage with people, being consistent on all that, and then to be in a worse position than you were 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah, so it's feeling a bit demoralised. This is what I'm going to address later on, but also, you know what, I'm going to be like the Queen Elizabeth II, never complain, never explain. The bottom line was social media was beginning to negatively impact on my mental health, and so I was thinking I need to have a break from this. I was beginning to think that anyway, and then my video camera broke. We're on the new camera, more of that in a second. So my video camera broke, and then my video editing software broke, and then my stills camera broke as well. Oh my goodness, and I just thought, you know what, the gods are trying to tell me something. So yes, I thought the best thing for me, for my mental health, is to just step away from the socials and get on with all the other parts of my life. Just seeing who that is coming up my front steps. And hence I've been, you know, mega busy with other stuff. In terms of the actual camera, someone was suggesting that because this is my revenue, this is my pay, that I should make sure I have sinking funds for it. Well, of course I do. Of course, I have emergency funds for all sorts of things. I have an emergency fund purely for equipment for work. So that's my sewing machine, my camera and my computer, my laptop. So I emptied that emergency fund a year and a half ago when I had to buy a new laptop. Really hope nothing else breaks. Build that fund up again. It was a little bit short for the camera, but a couple of lovely people helped me with a few quid towards it. So yes, I have an emergency fund for the camera equipment. I also have another emergency fund for bills, which I've always done that. All through my working life I did that too, because you never know what's around the corner. If you're going to be made redundant, you know, hope that's not on the cards for anyone, or if you have any period of prolonged illness. So I always try to have in savings 3 months worth of what my bills cost. So for February, I'm having to use that to cover the fact that I've been off YouTube for 2 weeks. So I've got to cover myself for 2. There's no such thing as holiday pay from YouTube. There's no such thing as sick pay when you're self-employed. So that's what those savings are for. So I can cover myself and now work really hard to put money back into both of those savings funds. So this is the new camera. I've played with it a little bit already. Oh, actually, I'll show you what it can do, and then we'll come back to this, because so the last 2 weeks, well, the last 6 months, it has been raining almost non-stop. I mean, it's making the headlines these days because it has been extraordinarily wet. I heard was it on the radio? They were saying, I heard this within the second week of February, they were talking about they got the data for the first week of February to say that in some areas, and I think the southwest where I am was included, they had 2 months worth of average rainfall in just that first week. So in other words, 2 months, that's 8 weeks. So it's the equivalent of 8 weeks worth of rain in just 1 week. Crazy. There are still huge areas that are flooded. I popped up to Wareham, which is the nearest town to me. It's about 10 miles or so away. It's 40 minutes on the bus. I popped there for something specific and the bus had to detour because the causeway that leads into the town, the south causeway, there's a causeway on both sides of the town, completely flooded still. Bonkers. Fortunately, travelling west, going a bit further up the river, there is a bridge on higher ground. Yes, but anyway, I'm coming back to the camera. I'm doing my Ronnie Corbett today. I'll go all around the houses and then I'll definitely come back to the main point. We've had a couple of really lovely mornings. One of those mornings turned into, it was dry until 10 p.m. So we still haven't had a 24-hour period of dry, but to be dry until 10 in the evening, marvellous. I'll show you that another day. But on this particular morning, it was the first time, it felt like it was the first time I'd seen sunshine in my life. So I've been trying to go for not necessarily a daily walk. We're going to hear traffic noises a little bit because it's raining again. So when the road is wet, we hear it more in here. I hope it doesn't bother you. Yeah, I've been trying to go for not quite a daily walk, but I would say 4 or 5 days a week. I'm trying to go for a walk for half an hour or so. So on this particular day, I woke up and I could already sense my bedroom was lighter. And I'd seen the forecast the day before was saying we'd have sunshine. So boinged out of bed, got myself dressed, didn't bother with breakfast or anything, and just got myself out of the house. And so went down towards the beach or the old quay, and I did a little bit of filming with the new camera. I'm back to the new camera. So a little bit of wind noise, hopefully I will be able to sort that out shortly. But anyway, this is our first bit of sunshine this year. Enjoy. Oh my goodness. We haven't had this for a long time. Sunshine. But it's a bitterly cold wind. It feels like temperature of 0. It's freezing. But it's beautiful. Look. Sunshine. Sunshine. Shadows again. Oh, glorious. It's a happy bay this morning. So gentle this morning. Be forgiven for thinking it was summer, apart from the fact that people are in coats and hats. just saw a couple swimming. The water temperature is about 8 degrees. Ooh, it's about 46 Fahrenheit. Air temperature, 0. But a beautiful sea today. Absolutely gorgeous. Pretty calm. And this beautiful sunshine. Oh, stunning. Isn't it just gorgeous to see the sunshine again? Oh, it just really lifted my spirits. I'm sure it does the same for pretty much everybody. So yeah, I shot that with the new camera. I have in these last couple of weeks, there's a few videos I've made. So like I said, it's not been about having a rest, having a holiday. It was just about getting away from the negativity around the socials. So I've been trying to push things forward with the house. That's still quite icky, sticky. I haven't really progressed things, but I'm trying to, and kind of sort of just keep pushing that rock up the hill. I've had some good sessions for my shop. There's a lot of new stock in there at the moment. And thank you, folk who bought from my shop whilst I was off the socials. That was a really lovely way of a little trickle of support whilst I was off. What else has been going on? Yeah, just a lot of personal admin. I mean, I try to keep on top of that sort of stuff. I'm sure you're all the same, that, you know, when you've got a whole weekend free or even a week off work, you can end up spending 2 or 3 days just doing your personal admin because there's just not time the rest of the time. So I just made a little list, which is why I'm looking down. Yeah, so stuff for the entire building, I've been pushing that along, stuff for the house, shop, and like I said, a little bit of filming, including, so excited by this, and you will see this, not the next video, the video after it, unboxing my Instant Pot and giving it its first go. I was very scared. It's that pressure, the pressure thing, isn't it? Anyway, you will see how that went, including a rescue phone call halfway through filming. Oh my goodness. What else? Oh, so one of the things I did, really little thing, but like I said, it's all these little admin-y things which stack up if we don't stay on top of them. Obviously, recently you saw I'd been to get my new glasses. Every time I put them on, I'm still amazed. It's like, oh, they're see-through because they're not scratched. So, okay, ignore the new glasses, my old ones, the ones that you know, the round tortoiseshell ones. When I had those, it left me with 2 old pairs from my previous prescription, but actually my prescription has hardly changed at all in all these years. It's just literally my new prescription has gone up a quarter. I don't know. Yeah, so it's now, if it was 2 and 2, I'm not sure if that's the right numbers, it's now 2 and 2 1/4. Anyway, so I've got 2 old pairs that go back to around about 2010, I think they were. My previous tortoiseshell ones, old pair, were from 2015, I think. Anyway, so I'd always kept the old pairs as spares in case I broke my new tortoiseshell ones. So I still had them lying around. And I thought, I really don't need all these spares. So my round tortoiseshell ones are so scratched I could hardly see through them. However, one of the really old pairs from 2010, are you keeping up? I put them on and it's like, yeah, they work perfectly well. So to test myself, I put my laptop on and put up I did a few rows of font on my laptop, getting smaller and smaller, put the specs on and moved to the other side of the room with my old 16-year-old specs, put them on, new ones, I thought actually I'll keep the old ones as spares rather than the scratched ones. Then I found a charity to take my second pair of old specs, but also even my most recent old ones, the tortoiseshells, because although they're scratched, the frames are perfectly good, the frames can be used again. So I don't know what it's like in your area. I know, for example, some of the chains like Specsavers, I believe they have donation bins at their branches. I didn't go to Specsavers. I didn't actually think to ask at Frith's if they have a donation bin. But in any case, I found a charity online and I can just post them off to them. So that's all my spares have gone bar one pair. So my spare for now are the ones from 2010, but they work perfectly well. Put it this way, they work perfectly well in an emergency. So what else have been? Oh, and one thing, of course, what joy, what absolute joy. So the Winter Olympics have been on. So, no, it's pure coincidence. I didn't take 2 weeks off work in order to watch the Olympics, although I'm kind of inclined to take a couple of weeks off work in the summer to watch the Tour de France. Tour de France, right, just before I get onto the Olympics, I was chatting with my brother-in-law and I rang him and he was just about to sit down and eat supper with all his mates because they were having one of their climbing weekends in the Lake District. So my brother-in-law lives in North Yorkshire where my sister lived, but they go to the lakes a lot to go climbing. And so I said, okay, I'll call you next weekend. So I called the next weekend. And we were both chatting about the fact that the Tour de France is coming to the UK again. It's been a couple of times in 2027, so it's not this year, next year. And the reason I was thinking of it, because he was in the lakes, and also my brother-in-law is a very, very keen cyclist. So I think there's 3 stages that are going to be run in the UK, but the ones I'm really keen to watch, the first stage is going to be from Edinburgh down to the Lake District, and then the second stage will start in the Lake District and go, I can't remember where it goes. Does it go down towards Liverpool or somewhere? The only thing is they're not really going around the lakes much. So the one from Edinburgh will end in Carlisle, which is sort of in the north of the lakes, and then they're going to set off. Are they setting off, I think, from Kendal for the next stage, and that's more in the south. So it's kind of missing that whole chunk of the lakes. But anyway, it will be really fun to see. And I was mentioning it to my brother-in-law to say, will you go over and have a watch? And he was saying that whilst they were there the previous weekend, they were all talking about it, and one of his mates at the hotel was like, right, let's just book ourselves some accommodation now, because it's only 18 months away. So they tried to book themselves a room at that very hotel, and the hotel said, sorry, we're already booked. We're actually hosting one of the teams. So yeah, good luck to anybody trying to get accommodation in the Lake District. It'll probably be round about the last week of June. I can't remember the dates. It'll be online. But yeah, how exciting that we can welcome the tour back in the UK again. Anyway, winter sports. So, no, I haven't sat and watched 2 weeks worth of Winter Olympics. I would like to have done that. But I've had it playing about either on the radio or I put it on the telly, depending on which part of the flat I'm working in. So listening in, and then occasionally sort of sitting down to watch a specific event. But what's lovely is I've been to that part of the world. So that's really fun to see it as it's intended. So I've been to Milan a couple of times. It's a lovely city. It's very it's all about shopping and shoes. Milan is shoe central. I bought a pair of shoes there once. But Cortina d'Ampezzo in northeast Italy, I've been there in the summer, and it is a winter sports town. It's like, you know, a typical, what you might think of as an alpine ski resort. But in the summer, it was so beautiful with all the sort of the lower slopes, the meadows just full of flowers, and absolutely gorgeous, incredibly lush, really, really beautiful. And when I'd been there that previous time, so this must have been in the 90s, was it? I went to visit the Olympic ski slope because, of course, Cortina had hosted back in, I think it was in the 50s, and I'm a bit of a sport nerd, so there I am in Cortina d'Ampezzo in the summer, but let me go and look at the winter Olympic venues that still exist, and the old ski slope, you know, the long one where they come off and they fly like that. You can't see what I'm doing, but there's... Anyway, that's still there. I think they call it the Trampolino Olimpico. Trampolino. You don't bounce on it. But it's just this most, just incredibly beautiful architecture, but all green. It's all lush because, of course, it's grass because it's the summer. So yeah, for me it was a joy to see it in winter as it was sort of designed for. Oh, and also having left Cortina, I went on over to, was it Austria or Switzerland? I can't remember that time. I've whizzed around Europe so many times, but over the Passo Tre Crocchi, the Three Crosses Pass. It's one of the high mountain passes. It's at about 2,000 metres. It's fairly high. It's just gorgeous. If you ever get the chance to go to that part of the world, the Dolomites, the Dolomite Mountains, I Dolomiti, are gorgeous. I don't know what rock they are. Is it some kind of limestone, I think? But the colours, you can see oranges and reds. Sometimes they're orange and red. Sometimes they look sort of purple and lavender, or, you know, dark purple, moody. It's where they're reflecting the sun. It's stunning, a stunning part of the world. Yeah, if you ever get the chance to, you know, it's not too far from Venice, and I think I went to Cortina after I'd been to Venice, and then I was sort of leaving Italy by the northeast corner, as it were. So if you're planning a trip to Venice and you're going to be there for a week or so, maybe have a day trip and get yourself up to Cortina and the mountains. It's beautiful. But I've loved it. I've loved the bits of it that I've managed to see. Every 4 years I become an expert in curling. So I don't know what it is about the curling. There's something very sedate and calming about it, unless you're Sweden playing Canada and there's the double tap issue. The Canadians, they were effing and jeffing. They actually did, they F-bombed in the games. Yeah, who thought curling could be so exciting? But I've been thoroughly enjoying that. The final hasn't happened yet. I'm filming this the day before the final, so good luck Team GB. The bobsleigh, I love the four-man bob. I mean, it's iconic, isn't it? That image of a four-man bob shooting down the icy curves, terrifying. Snowboarding, snowboard cross, when four of them are set off together and they do the ups and downs, and then they have the big sweeping curves. It just looks like such immense fun. I want to have a go. You know what? I mean, it would never have, you know, as kids we were poor. We certainly couldn't afford a skiing holiday, not even a school skiing holiday, a subsidised one. But I think if I'd had my time again, my teens, 20s, yeah, I could see myself having a go at snowboarding. And I love the fact that the snowboarders are in their baggy clothes. There's a kind of grunge to them. I think that's why I'm drawn to snowboarders over skiers. Skiers, they're kind of prim and proper, whereas snowboarders are a bit rebellious and grungy. I know skiers aren't prim and proper, of course not, but I think you get the gist. Yeah, so it's always immense fun to join in with these things by watching, but also I always find it inspiring. I watch, you know, when, excuse me, when they're doing jumps crazy jumps and then they have a crash landing and they get up, brush themselves off and go again. And I just think, yeah, it's a great inspiration for life, that, isn't it? Of you get knocked down, you get up again, you keep trying, you work out, keep working out, where did I go wrong in order to try to put it right, to get better. But whatever you do, keep trying. Crazy, great metaphor for life. Right, I'm keeping half an eye on time. Oh, and I want to say thank you, Kevin, the tomato seeds. I love this. They're, I don't know if I'm going to have the space this year, but I'll have a think on it and see if I can fit them in. He doesn't know, so this is something he planted years and years ago, I think from a tomato you'd been given, and didn't know what the variety was, so he's named them for himself and he now refers to them as this each year when he plants them, and so it's the name on the packet for me. It's just called Big Yellow Tom. Brilliant. I think we all do that, don't we? It is starting to... I'm going to be starting some seeds soon, very soon. We're really getting to that time of year now, aren't we, where I was mentioning this to Paul the other day. I need to think about popping down to Nixon's and ordering some compost. It won't fit in the shed yet though, because all the garden furniture is in the shed, because the garden furniture can't come out because we're still paddling through lakes in our gardens, aren't we? I have had standing water in the garden a few times. It does drain, this on the patio, it does drain sort of after a few hours, but I think it's just the ground is so utterly saturated now. There's just nowhere for any more water to go. But I haven't flooded, thank goodness. My heart goes out to those who have. Right. So I'm going to think about wrapping up. I mentioned at the top of the video about helping your favourite channels, and I hope I'm in one of your favourites boxes. So there's been, this YouTube algorithm, this infamous algorithm, and no one understands quite how it works. What is it? How does it work? How can I, play the algorithm? How can I beat the algorithm? Forget it. None of us know how it works. Nobody does. I was even looking at, there's a couple of guys in America, completely separate channels, and they specifically their channel is all about, playing the system, how to get the best from this system, but even they don't know. But there are a couple of things we can all do for our favourite channels. Just reaching over for your blankie because I'm starting to cool down now. I've been out for my walk and got myself warmed up. Yeah, there's a few things you can do to help your favourite channels. That it's nothing to do with paying or giving them money or memberships or anything like that. I would never ask for money, but how can you help in a practical way? The first thing is to make sure you're subscribed. Now I know that sounds obvious, but and I know the vast majority of you are subscribed, but every now and again check that you are still subscribed, because what I've had occasionally is people messaging me, and I've had two since the start of this year, made me think, what? Two people have messaged me to ask, two separate people, to ask me why I, Vivi, unsubscribed them from my channel. I didn't. No YouTuber has any control over your subscriptions. I cannot touch your subscriptions. That would mean the only way I could do that would be I would have to hack your computer and unsubscribe you from me. But to what purpose? Firstly, I don't know how to hack. I wouldn't do it anyway. But also, it wouldn't serve me any purpose to unsubscribe you. So, yeah, that's true right across the board. No YouTube channel creator can unsubscribe you. So what it seems that happens, and I've heard about this often, and it's happened before on my channel, I don't know whether YouTube do some kind of clean-up. This is what I mean. Nobody understands how YouTube works. We're second-guessing all the time. So this is what I'm suggesting today, is just ways to try and ameliorate what happens maybe because of some weird fruity algorithm. But yeah, I can't unsubscribe you. Possibly it's that YouTube drops subscriptions. I don't know why. So just check that every now and again that you're subscribed. And if you see that your favourite channel, you're not subscribed to it, it's not your favourite channel's fault. Goodness knows whose fault it is. But just resubscribe. And then the other thing, of course, is actually, and that's true for comments as well. Occasionally I've had people say to me, why did you delete my comment? And I'm like, I didn't. Now I can do that. I can delete comments, and I do if people are using swear words or are, you know, death threats or being nasty. I just delete them. They're gone. None of us need to see that. But yeah, when people say to me, why did you delete my comment? And I think, I haven't deleted any comments for 3 or 4 months, for example. Goodness knows how it happens. So yeah, make sure you're subscribed, and then, and here's words I've never said on my channel, click the bell icon for notifications. So there's a bell icon, and if you click on it, what that means is you'll get notified when that channel has put a new video out. So you don't have to kind of sort of check in with that channel every day. Have they done a video? Have they? Now for reference, I generally, and I would say probably 90% of the time, the way I don't have a set day when I put videos out. I simply put a video out every 3 days. So every 3 days, so after you've seen this one today, you know that in 3 days' time, which will be Wednesday, there will be a new video. After that, there'll be a new video on the Saturday. Every now and again, I might do one after 2 days. What else? So how else can you help? So subscribe, hit the bell icon, giving a video a thumbs up, because all these things are telling YouTube that you're engaged with that channel. So YouTube think, oh, people engage with this channel. Okay, let's give them some ad revenue. Let's you know, put them onto people's feeds. So a thumbs up can do that. Commenting really helps. And with a comment, it could just be as simple as an icon, you know, an emoticon. You don't have to write an essay. You could literally do a heart and a smiley face. Again, it all counts as engagement, and that helps a channel to look good to YouTube, because that's what we need. What else is there? So something that's come along really recently, I don't understand it and I haven't really engaged with it at all, but is this thing called hype. There's a hype button, and I think it depends what device you're using to access or to watch YouTube. So I think the hype thing only appears on smartphones, which is why I've never seen it, and I can't even see it for my own channel. Apparently you are allowed, I think, I might have this completely wrong, but you can give 3 hypes per week or per week. Anyway, the point is, if you've got one channel in particular that you really like, you can use all your hypes on that one channel. What does the hype do? Again, it lets YouTube know that this is a channel that's being engaged with, and apparently there's then some kind of like league table of most hyped channels. So it all sounds a bit too much to me. Anyway, I'm mentioning it in case any of you have seen that hype button, and I know a couple of people have commented to me to say, I've hyped you. Thank you so much. I don't know what it does, but you know, hype away. Have I mentioned everything? Yeah, I mean, that's it. You know, YouTube, it's a funny old thing, isn't it? Yeah, one can't second guess it, and like I said, with this January, to have income plunge so massively. And when I talk about this is the worst it's been in 5 or 6, I think it was 2020, I'm talking about like for like, as in with previous Januaries, because I keep accounts, I know about all my numbers and things like that, and I can see that January 2020 was slightly lower than this January 2026, but January's 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, it was all building, and yeah. So yeah, it can be a bit, like I said, a bit demoralising, and that's why I'm just mentioning this thing about subscribing and giving likes and comments if you can, because those little things could just bolster a channel enough to keep it going. Anyway, that's it. It's good to be back. I will see you all really soon with the video. The next video you're going to see is, I'm going to be, oh yes, a little bit of buried treasure. Until then though, please look after yourselves, stay well. If you are, by the time you see it, I can't remember, I think I'm going to be on YouTube at the same time as the GB men's curling team are playing for that gold medal. They might have won it already, who knows. If you're watching the curling, enjoy. Until the next one, cheerio lovelies.